Assalamualaikum, hi everyone, how are you? Today I would like to present about my activity 2. My informative speech will be sleep paralysis, demon or signs. The general purpose is to inform. Next, my specific purpose is to inform my respected audience about the science behind sleep paralysis, the causes and how to prevent it. First and foremost, I will like to start with the introduction, the attention getter. Imagine this. You come home from a long day of work. You go to lay down in your dark and serene room. You begin to fall asleep. And suddenly you start to hear a faint knocking. The knocking then becomes more potent and suddenly violent. You try to jump out and check what it is, but you realize you can't move a muscle. You can't even lift a finger. You are paralyzed. Your worried eyes begin to scan the room and your door slowly creaks open. You begin to panic and you gasping for air. You then see a marvelous dark shadow working towards you. You want to run away and scream, but you can't. You are still paralyzed. The shadow is now standing over you with his impassive eyes, like he wouldn't care if you die or not. But suddenly, the shadows vanishes. You are finally free and can breathe again. It all feels so real, but you realize it was all just a dream. For my reason to listen, my fellow friends, this strange phenomenon happen often, and the term for it is sleep paralysis. According to Penn State University, their research show that it happen more often in student and psychiatric patients. Moreover, my credibility statement, I'm also had to go through this terrifying experience oftenly. But enough is enough. Thus, I have done several research and reading from legit medical websites and other internet research to end this nightmare. So, ladies and gentlemen, what exactly is sleep paralysis? Well, today I'm Amirul bin Zaidi is going to be talking about what it is, the science behind sleep paralysis, the causes, and how to prevent it. Thank you.
Hello and good morning to everybody. How are you guys feeling today? I hope that none of you are feeling under the weather and that you guys are doing just fine. Okay, so now I want you guys to picture this in your mind. Mariam, a 17 years old teenage girl, should have been preparing for her SPM exams in February last year. But instead, she was about 6 months pregnant and living in a shelter home for unwed mothers, surrounded by other teenage girls she barely knew. Instead of learning about math and science, Mariam was learning how to diaper and burp a baby, using a fellow shelter girl's newborn as practice. But the biggest lesson she had learned was that having sex can get you pregnant, something she didn't really know before. Now, Mariam is stuck in the shelter. She can only stay for up to 3 months after giving birth. After that, she has to make way for another expectant unwed teenage. Mariam's story is not uncommon because same thing happened to the next girl, which is Sarah. Sarah is a 14 years old teenage girl. She did not learn sex education from a book either. Instead, at 12 years old, she learned about sex from a 17-year-old boy she met online. This boy had taught her everything about sex except the part where she could get pregnant. Now, Sarah, who looks like a child herself, and yet she brought a child into this world. Experts are making the case that sexual and reproductive health education should begin at the younger age, so that children can benefit from it in a manner that is developmentally appropriate. Today, I, Muhammad Rahizan, will be informing you on the reason why sex education for children is important in Malaysia. Thank you.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope all of you are in a well condition. So today, I want to ask you a simple question. Have you ever felt like when you get so many problems in life, you start to feel like you're getting a headache, you start to feel like there's a muscle pain on your neck, on your shoulder, where your muscles start to get tight, and then you feel like you are getting upset stomach, your chest started to become heavy. So basically, all the symptoms that I've mentioned just now is basically a common symptom of stress. We all know, I believe we all know what it feels like to feel stressed, as we handle it differently. Some of us might get stressed when you're trying to cram for a test, or maybe even when you're trying to complete something within a short time. And some of us even get stressed when they are trying to go out on a date for the first time. So stress itself is basically a subject matters. It occurs differently towards someone based on how they react to it. However, if the stress is left unchecked or untreated, it actually can lead to more damage. So some of us say that stress is a natural body response. Yes, it is actually a natural body response when you get overwhelmed by something. However, if it's continuously occur, it actually can lead to excessive damage. For instance, the worst case is even death. So, in order for me to explain this further, I will explain to you the case that happened on July 2021. So in this case, it actually involved a university student, and what's worse is actually that it actually involved two students. So the students are, the first student is Nurul Natasha Ezrin, and the second student is Muhammad Adham Hazim. So in this case, for Nurul Natasha Ezrin, she suddenly collapsed after working late on her coursework. And for the second student, is that he is a type of student that will always often sleep late. So when you often sleep late, of course, it will actually affect your life. So the most saddest thing about this student is that on the day of his death, he crawled to his parents' rooms. He crawled to his parents' room, asking for them to bring him to the hospital since the headache is too much and it is unbearable for him. So, as you can see in this case, that both of the students complained of the splitting headache, and both of them passed away due to the ruptured blood vessel. So what I have mentioned before, one of the common symptoms of stress itself is for you to get headache. So this shows how stress can actually affect someone less and even can lead to death. So in this video, the important thing that I want to highlight is that how much stress is too much stress. As we know, everyone's deal with it differently. So in this video, hello. My name is Nurin Amanina binti Muhammad Nazi, and for today, I will explain to you what are the ways and how it is for us to overcome and deal with stress, as it can affect our life negatively. Thank you.
Hi and greetings everyone, my name is Muhammad Denabi Muhammad Salim. So, Mortal Kombat, GTA, God of War, or should I say role-playing games, or also known RPG. Have you guys played this kind of game? Don't you think it's kind of violent? It is even R-rated game, so what do we expect, right? But usually it's far worse than we can imagine. Even though most brutal or violence games are R-rated, those games are also available in Apple Store, Play Store, and other platforms that give us access to download and play it. Therefore, youngsters are also able to download and play those kind of games. For obvious reason, it is not suitable for youngsters. Don't you think it's kind of weird and inappropriate for youngsters and even older people to play this kind of game? It might cause them to do something similar to what they play in those kind of game. I found an article that say, according to Violence Project Research, a National Institute of Justice founded project which aimed to profile mass shooters. 26 of 136 mass shooters since 1992 played violent video games. Meanwhile, among those who play violent video games, 22 of 26 or 85% had at least one mental health illness, or there was evidence of psychiatric disorder, though it had not been diagnosed. The overall rate of mental illness among all mass shooters since 1992 was roughly 70%. So, I would like to talk about violence in video games for people nowadays, but I will talk about it more in the next video. So, thank you.
Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well and not feeling okay. But sometimes it's okay to not to be okay. But whatever it is, I hope you guys are doing just fine. So first of all, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you ever get called out for being who you are? Like imagine you're just chilling, walking on the streets, then suddenly some random people or strangers started calling out for your own physique, or in another scenario your close friends or even your family members saying negative comments about your sudden change of body size. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called body shaming, an act of humiliating someone's body size by making inappropriate statements about one's body. So you may say, "Oh, I'm too thin and skinny. I don't have the rights to talk about body shaming, as people always treat the petite one better. People always treat the slimmer ones better." Okay, let me tell you something. I do always get negative remarks about my body throughout my whole existing life, even though I'm skinny now. Skinny people do get body shaming. So I, Nur Hidayah binti Mazlan, will like to spread awareness on body shaming for today's speech.